This video is to show you how to make a Jelly Bean Seahorse. So this cute little seahorse is a completely no-sew project, so it works really quickly. And this example here is shown using the Hobbii Honey Bunny yarn. So today I'm going to be using Hobbii Honey Bunny in the aqua and pumpkin colors. And here I used the turquoise and yellow. I also have a little bit of this medium worsted weight yarn, and that's just for the little eye detail in here, so you don't need very much at all. In addition, I also have my crochet hook. It's a 5.0 millimeter H hook, and I have 10 millimeter safety eyes. These are optional. You're welcome to embroider your eyes on if you prefer. And then I have my scissors, sewing needle, stitch markers, and of course a bit of stuffing. So before we get started, if you're wanting to follow along with a written pattern, once this video is made public, then there will be a free version available on my blog. In addition, I have a paid version available on Ravelry and Etsy. And while you're watching the video, if you'd like to adjust the playback speed, you can do so by going to the cog in the upper right corner. Click the drop-down menu and then go to playback speed, and you can speed it up or slow it down, whatever your preference is. And don't forget, you can always pause to catch up or to take a break. And that's it for now. So let's get started. So before we begin the body and head, we're going to create the snout. And to do that, we're going to start with a magic ring. Now, as always, if you're not comfortable doing a magic ring, feel free to chain 2 and place all your stitches for round 1 in the second chain from the hook. So I'm going to place all my stitches loosely in my magic ring to help it close. And for round 1, we need 6 single crochet stitches in our ring. And close up your ring. Okay. Oh, and don't forget to add your stitch marker in. Go. And then for round 2, we're going to single crochet in each stitch. So our snout's going to be quite narrow. It can be a little bit tricky working the narrow pieces. Let's flip that the right way out. Okay, so there's the end of round 2. So round 3 is a decrease round. So we're going to go from having six stitches down to 4 stitches. And to do that, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch and then do a single crochet decrease and repeat that twice. So again, I know the narrow pieces can be a little bit tricky, but we can do this. Okay, so we're down to 4 stitches, and I'm going to use my needle to kind of tuck in this yarn end. I probably should have tucked it in before I did the last round. And if you find that the tail's too long to fit inside, you can just cut it down. I think I'm going to do that. So you won't really need any stuffing other than the tail yarn here. Okay. And then on to round 4. So round 4 is going to be an increase round. So we're going to go back up. So we're going to have 4 stitches now, and we're going to go up to 6 stitches. So to do that, we're going to single crochet in the next stitch and then place 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. So to get into these stitches, it works best if you kind of go down and then push up on a bit of an angle, and that'll help you to get your hook through. And we're repeating, so single crochet in this one, and then my last stitch will have 2 single crochets. Okay, once you've completed round 4, you're going to end off by slip stitching to the next stitch, and you want to leave about 6 inches or so just to sew up any holes that can be made when you're crocheting with the snout on. So just a small little tail just in case you need it. And that is it for the snout. So when I come back here, we're going to start the head and body. Oh, what I forgot to mention was that on this snout, we want to mark the last 3 stitches we worked. So those are the 3 stitches behind where we secured the tail. So 1, 2, 3, and this will just help us, or help me in explaining how to crochet on the snout. Okay, and then to start the body and head, we're going to start again with a magic ring. And in this magic ring, we're going to place 6 single crochet stitches. Okay, go ahead and close up your ring. And add your stitch marker. Okay, so for rounds 2 to 11, that's 10 rounds, you're going to single crochet in each stitch. So you don't need to slip stitch or chain 1 between any of your rounds. We're just going to work in a continuous spiral, continuous rounds, and we're just going to single crochet in each stitch. So here's the end of round 2 done, and I'm going to do the next 9 rounds off camera, and then I will come back and we'll work on round 12. So again, you're going to single crochet in each stitch, and you're going to do that for a total of 10 rounds. Okay, so here I am at the end of round 11. Remember, the last 10 rounds we just single crocheted in each stitch. So next up for round 13, we're going to do an increase round, and we're going to go from having 6 stitches up to 12 stitches. And to do that, we're going to place 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch around. So 2 single crochet stitches into each stitch, and 6 times. Okay, so round 13 is also an increase round, and this time we're going to go from having 12 stitches up to 15. So to do that, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then place 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and we'll repeat that 3 times around. So 1, 2, 3, single crochet in those 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in my next stitch. Repeat that 2 more times, so 3 times in total. Okay, so now on to round 14. So the next 4 rounds, you're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So again, I'm going to do those off camera, but for the next 4 rounds, rounds 14 to 17, you want to place 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch. So you'll still have 15 stitches by the end of round 17. So when I come back, we'll start round 18 together. Okay, so here we are ready to start round 18. And again, the last 4 rounds, you single crocheted in each stitch. So round 18 is a decrease round. So we're going to go from having 15 stitches down to 12 stitches. So to do that, we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. And we'll repeat that 3 times. So single crochet in the next 3 stitches and then do a single crochet decrease. And we're repeating it 3 times. Okay, so now what you want to do is add a little bit of stuffing. So for our next round, we're going to go down to 6 stitches. So you want to add stuffing just to this sort of belly area. I left the tail area completely free of stuffing because once we're done, we're going to actually roll it up. So it's easier to do if it's not stuffed. So just a little bit of stuffing in here, and you could add it afterwards unless you're using a really thin yarn. But if you're using like a chenille style yarn, you most likely be able to still add stuffing even once you're down to 6 stitches. But I'm just going to add some in here anyways, just in case. Okay, and then for round 19, we're going to go from having 12 stitches down to 6. So to do that, we need to decrease all the way around. So we're going to do a single crochet decrease 6 times. So I'm doing invisible decreases. If you want more details about how to do that, I have a beginner series of videos that goes through all kinds of tips and techniques like this one. I will link it below for you as well. Okay, so if you need a bit more stuffing, go ahead and do that. Round 20 is going to be an increase round. So for this round, we're going to go from having 6 stitches and we're going to go back up to 12. And to do that, we're going to add 2 single crochet stitches to each stitch around. So 2 single crochets in each of the next 6 stitches. Okay, and on to round 21. And round 21 is another increase round. And this time we're going to go from having 12 stitches up to 18. And to do that, we want a single crochet in the next stitch and then place 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. And we'll repeat that 6 times around. So again, we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch, then 2 single crochets in the stitch after that, and repeat that a total of 6 times around. Okay, so round 22, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. So we're starting with 18 stitches and we'll also end with 18 stitches. So again, just single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so round 23, we are going to crochet on the snout. Well, we're going to start crocheting on the snout. We're going to crochet the snout in 2 different rounds. So for rounds 23 and 24, they will both be rounds that the snout is crocheted on. So I'll show you what I mean, because that sounds really confusing. But to begin round 23, we're going to single crochet in the first 7 stitches. I should also add that at the end of this round, we will still have 18 stitches. So again, single crochet in the first 7. Okay, and then grab the snout, and those stitches that you marked when you completed the snout, those are the ones that we're going to crochet on first. So if you place the marked stitches right next to the next 3 stitches of the head, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go from the inside to the outside of the first stitch here on the right, first marked stitch on the right. So the inside of the snout to the outside, and then we're going to work the stitch of the head the same way that we would if we just kept working in the round. And we're going to crochet those 2 sides together with a single crochet. So you can move your stitch marker out of there if it's in your way. Okay, move it out now. And then what you want to do is take your next marked stitch and go from the inside of the snout to the outside, and then into the next stitch of the head, and single crochet those 2 pieces together. Then we can take out that stitch marker, and then do the same for this last stitch. So inside to outside, then into the next stitch of the head. And there we go. So the bottom of our snout is crocheted on, and then we will crochet the rest on in the next round. Okay, so to finish this round, you want to single crochet in the next 8 stitches. Okay, So on to round 24. So round 24, again, we're going to be crocheting the rest of the snout on. So we need to begin by single crocheting in the first 7 stitches. Okay. And then these next 3 stitches here, these are the ones that were used to crochet on the bottom of the snout. We are going to just completely ignore these 3 stitches. And instead, we're going to crochet the 3 stitches that are still left open on the snout. So we have our first stitch here. And you're crocheting just into the snout. You're not crocheting into the head at all, so you're just going through one piece of the fabric here. You're going to single crochet in those 3 stitches of the snout. And then we're going to just take a look behind here and see there, those are the 3 stitches that we're going to skip. And we're going to start and single crochet in the last 8 stitches of the round here. So before I finish those 8, I'm just going to show you. So see how we still have a hole here. So technically you could add more stuffing in there if you wanted. But what this does is it makes the snout stay up rather than just flop down. Okay, so single crochet in the next 8 stitches here. I've already done 1, so I have 7 more to go. Okay, so there's the end of round 24. The next 3 rounds, rounds 25 to 27, you're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So then after that, I'll come back for adding in the eyes and starting round 28. So again, rounds 25 to 27, the next 3 rounds, you're going to single crochet in each stitch. So you're starting with 18 stitches and you will end with 18 stitches. Okay, so here we are at the end of round 27. And again, those last 3 rounds, you single crocheted in each stitch. So before we start round 28, we want to add in our safety eyes and sew up the little holes on each side here of the snout. And then you can add a bit of stuffing now too if you'd like. So for the safety eyes, we want to add them to round 24, about 8 to 9 stitches apart. So you could count from the bottom all the way up to round 24, or if you look here, our snout was attached, like the top part of the snout was attached on round 24. So I know that this round here is the 24th round. So in this indent here. So I'm going to go ahead and place the safety eye here. And then I'm going to count over 8 or 9 stitches and we'll see if it looks even. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8's probably going to do it here. Okay, so do those look even? I think they're pretty even. Okay, so once you've decided if this is where you'd like your safety eyes to be, you can bring them closer if you want, higher, lower. Oh, I kind of like it closer there. No, I'll leave it back here. Okay, so I'm about 8 or 9 stitches apart here. I'm going to secure in my safety eyes, so you can do that whatever way you'd like. Okay, so there's that part done. And then this tail here, see how There's a little bit of a hole here from crocheting the snout on, so that's what this tail here is for. So we can just go ahead and sew that up just quickly with our extra yarn. We'll push that through to the other side and do the other side too. And then once you've done that, I usually make a little knot here and then pull the yarn into the head. Okay, you can tuck that in. If you want to, you could add some more stuffing now because we are going to decrease some more in a minute here. So I'm going to put a little bit more down into the body. And what I find can also help is using the end of your crochet hook to push in your stuffing. Okay, I'm not going to do too much of the head yet. I'm going to wait till I've started to close it a bit more. Okay, so for round 28, we're going to do a decrease round. We're going to go from having 18 stitches down to 12 stitches. And to do that, we're going to single crochet in our next stitch and then do a single crochet decrease across the next 2 stitches. And we'll repeat that 6 times around. So again, single crochet in the next stitch and then do a single crochet decrease. And repeat around. So you're repeating 6 times in total. Okay, so at this point you can add a bit more stuffing to the head because after the next round it will get tricky to do that. So I'm going to add a little bit. Now you can add some stuffing after the next round depending on the size of yarn you're using. If you're using a thicker yarn, it's easier to get in there. But I would do the bulk of your stuffing now. And you want to make sure that you've got enough to round out the top of the head here. Okay, so we'll leave it like that, and then I might add a little bit more as I go here. Okay, and then round 29 is also a decrease round, and this time we're going from 12 stitches down to 6. And to do that, we're going to do a single crochet decrease all the way around. So we'll do it 6 times, bringing us down to 6 stitches. Okay, then just go ahead and end off there by slip stitching to the next stitch. And you want to leave about a 6-inch tail for cinching up the top of the head. That through And see how there's extra space up here. I'm going to add some stuffing in there, just using the end of my hook. And then grab your sewing needle. We'll cinch up the top. You just want to work through each stitch. Now I'm only working through the front loop of each stitch, but you can work through the whole stitch if you prefer. And then I just create a little knot and then push my yarn through, making sure that that knot goes into the body. Okay, on to the head fin. So for the head fin, what we're going to do is we're going to measure out where we want the fin to go ahead of time before we start crocheting. So we want to start by placing a stitch marker on round 27 of the head in between the eyes. So we placed our eyes on round 24, so 25, 26, 27. So this is our round 27. I'm going to put it as close to the center as I can. I think it's a little bit to the side, but I think we'll be able to make that work. So there's round 27 in the center. And then what I want you to do is place an additional stitch marker every 2 rounds. So every 2 rounds, first of all, you'll be going up and then you'll be going down the back of the head. And you keep going down the center and then attach your stitch marker. Every 2 rounds or so. You can go more frequently if you want, but you want them to be as close to the center as possible. And if you're comfortable with this, you're welcome to just jump right in and start crocheting. But I find this is an easy way to show those that haven't done this as often. All right, so I think that's close enough. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your accent color. So I'm using this peach color. And I'm going to attach it to the first stitch marker that I placed. So I'm creating a slip knot to attach it. You could just pull it through and then end it off later. And I'm just going to go right under the stitch marker. And I'm going to pull it in and create and chain, and then I'm going to make a single crochet through that section. All right, and then what I'm going to do is take out this next stitch marker, and then I want to chain 3 and single crochet where the next stitch marker is. And we'll just repeat these steps all the way down the back of the head. So again, chain 3 and single crochet where the next stitch marker is. Chain 3. after you complete your last stitch, you want to end off. Now I'm going to end off just by slip stitching in the same stitch that I did that last single crochet, and then pulling the yarn through. You don't need a long tail, you just need long enough to weave in the end. So a couple inches is still good, because then you have a good size to weave in. All right, so there is the head fin, and I'm just gonna poke my ends into the head, and then we can start the dorsal fin. So the dorsal fin is fairly similar. We'll locate the stitch we need and just crochet it on. Okay, so dorsal fin. A dorsal fin I'm going to use the accent color for as well. And what you want to do is you want to find the center back of round 16 of the body. So to find round 16, I mean, you can count down from the eyes or up from the tail. I think I'm going to go up from the tail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we want right here on the body. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my stitch marker in there while I get my yarn ready. And I'm going to make a slip knot and attach my yarn to this stitch. So if you prefer to have it up or down a bit, you can do that. I'm going to place it right here. Chain. Okay. And then I want to chain 3, place 3 triple crochets or treble crochets into that same spot. And then chain 3 again and slip stitch down here in the same spot. Then you end off and weave in your ends. The next step, I'm going to show you how to curl up the tail. Now you can feel free to add extra little details in if you wish. You could add some little cheeks, you could add a bit of a tummy, whatever sort of details you want. Okay, so for the tail, to curl it up, I want you to find a scrap piece of the main color of yarn. You want about, you probably only need about 8 inches or so. I've got about 12 here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on my needle. I'm gonna start at the bottom here, bottom center of the seahorse, and I'll start about round 2. I'm just gonna like sew up through that second round, and then I want to pick up a stitch every 3 to 4 rounds all the way up, which means I'm gonna like skip over a couple rounds and then go through another stitch, skip a couple rounds, go through another stitch, and then I think I'm going to do it one more time up here and see how that looks. If I don't like it, I will take out the top and pull your yarn through. And then you can just tighten the yarn. If you wanted to, you could come around and go back through the same loops and tighten it all together. Yeah, so just pull it all up and tighten it. I think I'm going to take out that last one that I put in though. So you don't like the way how high up the tail's going. There we go. And then I'll tie that. So again, if you want, you can go through that set of holes again. Make sure your knot's good and tight. And then prep. And then you can just sew in the ends here. Okay, and then the last little detail is the eye detail. So for that, you're going to need about 12 inches of the white worsted weight yarn. And then your sewing needle again. Okay, so go ahead, grab your white worsted weight yarn, your sewing needle, and what we want to do is we want to start down below the eye and come up about the center bottom part of the eye. So you want to get as close to the eye as you can, which can be a little bit tricky. Put right there. Okay, make sure you leave a few inches down here at the bottom. And then you want to go back down as close as you can to the eye, the top center here. I think that'll work. And then I'm pushing the yarn to the other side of the head so that I'm under the second eye, just so that I'm in place to start the next one. And then just pull down on that. Okay, so there's our first one. And then on the second eye, we're going to do the exact same thing. You want to come up as close as you can to the center, bottom center of the eye. I want to go, should reach, okay. And then back down the top center. I think. Let's try that. And I go back down to where I originally put my yarn in, just so that I'm ready to tie it off. Just pull that. Okay. And there we go. We've got our eye detailing done. And just like the other ends, I'm just going to tie that off and push my ends in. So there we go. We have ourselves a little Jelly Bean Seahorse. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye for now.